The air in the dining room felt like it had been sucked out, leaving a vacuum that pressed against my chest. My wife's voice, sharp and careless, echoed from the phone screen in my hand. Marriage? It's just a legal formality, nothing more. The video, posted to her public Instagram story, was time-stamped from last night's office party. Her laughter, bright and unburdened, sliced through me as she leaned into a man I didn't recognize, his hand grazing her lower back. The caption read, "Living my truth." My fork clattered against the plate, the half-eaten lasagna cold and congealed. I stared at the screen, my thumb hovering over the replay button, as if watching again might rewrite the moment. The house was silent except for the faint hum of the refrigerator. The dining table, polished oak we'd picked out together 5 years ago, gleamed under the chandelier's soft glow. It felt staged, like a set for a life we no longer lived. I tried to recall the last time Claire and I had sat here together, really talked, not just exchanged logistics about bills or schedules. Her absence tonight wasn't unusual. She'd been working late for months, her marketing firm demanding more of her time. Or so she said. The video looped in my mind, her words a splinter I couldn't pull out. Just a legal formality. Was that what we were? A contract? A checkbox? I stood, my chair scraping the hardwood, and paced to the living room. The couch, plush and gray, held the indent of her body from countless Netflix nights. I sank into it, scrolling through her Instagram again. The story was still up, taunting me. The man's face was half-shadowed, but his smile was too familiar, too intimate. My pulse thudded in my ears, a rhythm of dread and denial. Maybe it was nothing. Maybe she was drunk, exaggerating for attention. Claire loved to perform. Her charm was why I fell for her. But the way she leaned into him, the ease of her touch, felt like a language I'd never been taught. I opened our text thread. Her last message from this morning was a rushed "late again tonight, don't wait up." No hearts, no apologies. I typed, "Saw your story. What's going on?" My thumb hovered over send, but I deleted it. Too vague. Too weak. Instead, I opened her firm's website, searching for the man's face among the team photos. Nothing matched. My stomach churned, a mix of nausea and rage. I needed answers, but the thought of confronting her made my skin crawl. What if I was wrong? What if I was right? The front door clicked open, and my heart lurched. Claire's heels tapped against the foyer tiles, a sound as familiar as my own breathing. "Evan," she called, her voice light, unaware. I stayed silent, gripping the phone. She appeared in the doorway, her navy blazer slung over one arm, her auburn hair loose around her shoulders. She looked tired but radiant, her green eyes catching the lamplight. "You're up late," she said, smiling. It was the kind of smile that used to unravel me, but now it felt like a mask. "Couldn't sleep," I said, my voice tighter than I intended. I held up the phone. "Saw your story." Her smile faltered, just for a second, before she laughed, a high, nervous sound. "Oh, that? Just me being dramatic after a few drinks. You know how I get." She dropped her blazer on the armrest and kicked off her heels, moving toward the kitchen. "Want some tea?" I followed her, the phone still in my hand. "Who was the guy?" She froze, her hand on the kettle. The kitchen smelled faintly of lemons from the cleaner she used obsessively. "What guy?" she asked, not turning around. "The one you were laughing with. The one touching you." She spun, her eyes narrowing. "Evan, it was a party. People talk. People touch. It's not a big deal." Her tone was sharp now, defensive. I wanted to believe her, to let the moment dissolve into nothing. But her words from the video clawed at me. "Just a legal formality. Then why say marriage is just paperwork?" I asked, stepping closer. The kitchen island stood between us, a cold granite barrier. "Why post that for everyone to see?" Her lips parted, then closed. She crossed her arms, her posture stiff. "I was venting. Work's been hell, and I was blowing off steam. You're blowing this out of proportion." "Am I?" My voice cracked, and I hated it. I hated how small I felt, how the room seemed to shrink around us. "You've been distant for months, Claire. Late nights, vague texts. And now this? I'm not an idiot." Her face softened, but it wasn't warmth, it was pity. "Evan, I'm tired. Can we not do this now?" She turned back to the kettle, filling it with water, the rush of the tap loud in the silence. I wanted to grab her, to make her look at me, but instead, I opened her Instagram again, scrolling through her recent posts. A photo from last week. Her at a rooftop bar, the city skyline glowing behind her. No caption, just a heart emoji. The man's arm was in the frame, his watch glinting. I hadn't noticed it before. Whose watch is that? I asked, holding the phone out. She glanced at it, her jaw tightening. I don't know. Someone from work, probably. Why are you doing this? Because I don't know you anymore. The words erupted, raw and jagged. She flinched, and for a moment, I saw something flicker in her eyes. Guilt, maybe, or fear. But then it was gone, replaced by a cold resolve. You're paranoid, she said, her voice low. I'm not cheating on you if that's what you think. I'm just trying to figure things out. Figure what out? My hands shook, and I set the phone down before I threw it. Us. This. I gestured at the house, at the life we'd built. The photos on the fridge. Us in Paris, us at her sister's wedding, mocked me with their frozen smiles. She didn't answer. The kettle whistled, shrill and insistent, but she ignored it. I need space, she said finally, her voice barely above a whisper. I didn't mean for you to see that video. I was drunk, okay? I was stupid. But maybe I meant it a little. The words landed like a punch. I staggered back, my hip hitting the counter. You meant it. I repeated, my voice hollow. You think our marriage is nothing? I didn't say that. Her eyes glistened, but no tears fell. I don't know what I feel anymore. I love you, Evan, but it's not the same. It hasn't been for a while. I wanted to scream, to demand answers, but my throat closed up. The kitchen felt too small, the air too thick. I grabbed my keys from the counter and walked out, her voice calling after me. Faint and desperate. Evan, wait. The night air was cold, biting at my skin as I climbed into my car. I didn't know where I was going, only that I couldn't stay. The streetlights blurred as I drove, my mind replaying every moment of the past year. Her late nights, her distracted smiles, the way she'd stopped reaching for my hand. The signs were there, but I'd ignored them, too afraid of what they meant. I ended up at a dive bar on the edge of town, the kind of place where the jukebox played songs nobody remembered. I ordered a whiskey, then another, letting the burn dull the ache in my chest. My phone buzzed, Claire texting. I'm sorry. Please come home. I stared at it, my thumb hovering over the screen. Then another message came through, not from her but from an unknown number. A photo loaded slowly. Claire, laughing in a dimly lit restaurant, her hand on the same man's arm. The timestamp was tonight, an hour ago. My glass slipped, shattering on the bar floor. The bartender glanced over, but I didn't care. I zoomed in on the photo, my heart pounding. Her wedding ring was missing. The formality, as she called it, was gone. I drove back home, the photo searing my vision. The house was dark when I arrived, but her car was still in the driveway. I found her in the bedroom, sitting on the edge of the bed, her face buried in her hands. She looked up, startled, her eyes red. Evan, Who is he? I asked, my voice deadly calm. She didn't deny it this time. His name's Ryan. He's someone from work. It's not what you think, but it's complicated. Complicated? I echoed, laughing bitterly. You took off your ring, Claire. You called our marriage nothing. How complicated is that? She stood, reaching for me, but I stepped back. I didn't mean to hurt you, she said, her voice breaking. I felt trapped. I don't know who I am anymore, Evan. I thought he could help me find that. I stared at her, the woman I'd loved for a decade, and saw a stranger. The betrayal wasn't just Ryan. It was her erasure of us, her dismissal of everything we'd built. I walked to the dresser, pulled out her ring from the jewelry box, and set it on the bed. You want to find yourself? I said, my voice steady now. Start without this. I walked out, leaving the ring behind. The formality, as she'd called it, was gone. And so was I.